Hello and welcome to the final Building Tech Sales Academy in public for the year. My name is Jameel Raymond. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here as always. Folks, the holiday season has arrived. Here in Australia, it means the sun is shining, right? The barbecues will be firing up very shortly, and there is not one single fuck to be given until next year. Oh man, I will not deny that, I'm quite happy that this is the last vlog of the year, because I've started to realize, in particular this year, of how draining it is to be creative. Right, I've had to output so much creatively over the last 12 months from building a course and testing it and content, and I've never released so many videos and done so much content related stuff in my life that it is like giving birth, right? The creative act does require resources, mindset, energy, and it takes it out of you. And I've talked about my energy and burnout over the last few weeks, and that's pretty much close to done now. I think it's just more of a cannot be bothered / if everything goes according to plan over the next week or two, I've done my diligence for the year. I've done my shit for the year. I'm just sort of breathing out and letting the rewards come. A couple of lovely updates on my end, what's been going on in my life. Over the last week, my brother finished his last university assignment. He has now officially finished his university degree in audio engineering. Very proud brother and fellow musician, so very happy for him for that. Funny story, I actually encouraged him and had to back him into my parents to allow him to do audio engineering as a subject. My father and my parents, classical boomer tiger parents, just do something that will make you money and is worthwhile. Little do they know that accounting is largely disrupted by AI and done mostly by algorithms nowadays. But I had to talk them into allowing him to follow his passions of music and audio engineering, and had to, push them into letting him have that 2 years ago. And now I think he's going to finish pretty close to the top of his class. And one of the core initiatives that I had when taking over this family shit was to make sure that he got through this with as minimal impact and finished his university years with as minimal impact as possible. So for him to do that, I've really ticked one off in the family and Big Brother box this year. So I'm pretty happy about that. On the family front, we should have, hopefully, the final signatures on the settlement between my parents and organising the separation in the next 24 hours. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, that'll be signed off. And then that'll be another huge load off my back. And just another massive plate off my back, just because I know that the family assets are safe. We don't really have anything tied to my father. And we can, just really start 2025 with a fresh start and a fresh outlook. So, yeah, man, it's coming down to the wire, calendar-wise and drama-wise, which is good. I'm wondering what other potential roadblocks, what other whodunits, what other mysteries will come out of the woodwork before I can finally just be like, it's done. The war is over, my friends. Actually, the thing that would really lock that in is getting my contract signed for my new gig. That's still in the air. Hey, this week, for the last episode of the year, I wanted to take a look back at 2024 and sort of reflect on what's worked and what hasn't worked in building the business year to date. So, it's been less than a year since I've officially jumped off and done my own thing. That was mid-January 2024. And, it's been a fucking wild year, right? If I was to let me just try and quickly jump through the months here of what 2024 has been like for me. So start of January, I'm still going viral. I did not take the Christmas break off because I was trying to viciously scramble and get my business together and try and capture as much of the attention that came from the virality and try and convert it into my business and stand something up as quickly as possible. I already put my notice in with Cisco to say I'm getting out. So January, I quit. In that time, I've been accumulating a cohort of about 20 different sellers from all around the globe to test out the first version of my content that ended up being Tech Sales OS, which is the main course of Tech Sales Academy. So once I'm out in January, in February, I'm going deep, son. I am in monk mode. I'm grinding out the first version of this course. I think I did somewhere in the realm of 400 slides. I was teaching every weekend, across 3 different time zones, 3 different continents every weekend. By Sunday night of every week, I was like a zombie, absolutely smashed to the core. Once I'd finished the first amount of concept for the course, or the first version of the course, I took a break and I went to Mexico City to go to the Founder OS Mastermind and meet with other founders and, take a break and just connect with a new community of founders and, hopefully my new community moving forward. Took a beautiful break in Tulum in Mexico. Amazing time there. Jungle, beach, good food. Mate, Wanza, beautiful, beautiful. April comes around. I'm preparing for the launch of Tech Sales OS. May is the official launch. I launch May 1st. I got the vlog ready. I put that out into the world. I'm spamming content. I'm trying to build as much reach as possible. The vlog is a great piece of content, but does not work out the way I'd expected. I expected that thing to go crazy viral, which we'll talk about later on in the episode. May, that's launch. June. The nose, I'm starting to run out of money. I'm starting to pull the nose up. It's winter. I'm depressed. The course isn't selling like I expected it. I start to decide to pull the pin and start to go to Thailand and go, fuck this. I'm going to start digital nomad life and get the hell out of Melbourne because it's burning too much money. I hate being in the Melbourne during the winter. I just got to get out. July is a nightmare of me just selling all of my shit. I went from a 2-story townhouse to 2 suitcases in like 3 weeks. No possessions left, sold my car, sold everything. I'm a nervous wreck by the time I go to Thailand. Then it's August. I get there, basically July 29th is when I get to Thailand. August, I am in digital nomad life. I have jumped off, I've burnt the boats, I'm in Thailand, I'm in Phuket completely by myself. I don't know a single fucking person. I'm just grinding out the Account Executives Toolkit. I start this vlog. I'm just trying to enjoy life, but man, that month in Thailand was beautiful as an experience, but I'm stressed. I hadn't really taken time off from the immensely stressful experience of launch and getting rid of all my shit from my house. I was breaking down multiple times when that happened in that last week. My dad was starting to play up with some shit that started to end up being, the controversy that I've had to come back for. And yeah, I am basically working 6-7 days a week, 12-13 hours a day during that time, pivoting, creating content, just trying to mad scramble and try and pull the nose up so I can stop burning cash in the business. That comes to a crashing halt at the end of August. I get the awful news about my father, and I have to pull the pin within 24 hours and face fucking hell. That was my family shit from the end of August. Really painfully, let me share this. So I landed, I found out the news about my family shit on the 24th of August. And my brother's birthday is the 27th and my birthday is the 28th. And I had lined up on the 28th I had a date with a gorgeous woman, gorgeous lady, lined up for the 28th. I was going to book a villa. It was going to be a nice, beautiful day, and then I had to ditch all of that and face the absolute shit fuck of a situation that is my family stuff. So that was a real big crash down, right? That's where, I came back onto the loop, into the fold, letting you guys know about that situation. September was me living at my auntie's place, sleeping on a couch, trying in limbo, in purgatory, trying to keep my family safe, trying to figure out our next moves to rebuild our lives, because it was an absolute shock. I had to sell the family home, organize a divorce. It's a complete separation, you know, a complete breakdown of a family that's 35 years in the making. So that was September. That sucked ass. October, a little bit better. We finally got our own home and could, you know, have a space to heal and actually have some structure in our lives. That was me burning out, you know, just trying to carry the world on my shoulders when it comes to my family and my business. So that, again, that was more pain. November, I launched the Account Executives Toolkit October 29th or 30th. I'm officially tapped out. And basically since then I've been on, you know, a break. Well, not a break. I took a mental health break for 2-3 weeks, did absolutely nothing for some time. Had some good stuff happen when it came to my family stuff, potentially got this job as a sales coach. That was November, and it's just been a slow recovery from burnout and taking some space since then. But man, this 12 months has absolutely flown by. It flew by up until August, and then these last couple of months have felt fast but painfully slow at the same time. It's been crazy, completely fucking crazy. And you know, for 2023, last year was one of, and you know, some pretty crazy highs and lows, but overall massive highs. And you know, the balance of the universe is that there's got to be a low in that, and I accept that. And for me, again, this has been a shit time, but again, big dog upstairs, the universe, and going through these levels of transformation and iteration over the last 5 years has taught me that this is a shedding of the unnecessary. This is the shedding of stuff that does not serve me, that will not serve me in the next iteration of who I am. And it's important to remember that when, you know, a layer of you and parts of who you are, integral to who you are, you know, this is at the parental core, is being ripped away from you. And it doesn't mean it doesn't fucking hurt, but that's the reality of what has to happen in the greater scheme of what this mission and journey of life is. So I'm grateful. It's been fucking crazy, absolutely crazy this year, beyond belief. And man, you know, we've had overall, it's been a year of huge lessons and learnings and pain. But again, 2025, very optimistic that it's going to go up, right? The only way is up from here. Surely. All right, so we're going to do a little listicle again. We're going to do the top 5 things that did not work this year and the top 5 things that did. Okay, I want to start with the negative so we can hit on a positive note. Okay, so here are some of the things that I think, upon reflection, did not work this year. Number 1, the first thing is positioning of content. Okay, so initially, one of the first things that I'd recognized, or I didn't realize, and I still have a real complex about, is the ability to talk and sell yourself. It is a delicate balance between self-promotion and what just seems to be outright bragging. And this is something that I've had a real complex about for some time, because as a kid, as I used to get excluded a lot for being exemplary. And that sounds a bit pretentious, but so when I was a kid, I was a gifted child. I'm talking like 2 to 3 years more intellectually advanced than my contemporaries, my other students, to a point where, you know, it was recommended or suggested that I go up a year or 2, but that was sort of put against for my social development. So I used to get ostracized a lot for being too smart and overachieving and like basically winning every math competition, every English competition, just anything that was academic, I would excel at. Definitely, in my skill stack, all of my points were in in magic and skills and nothing in the physical, right? I was a pure mage and not a barbarian, to say in game speak, right? I had zero physical capabilities. I was all mental. So it's really hard for me to talk about, or trying to find that balance, and you're talking about self-promotion and being like, hey, come learn from me because I'm a top 1% seller. And one of the, I guess the lesson is, you don't want to make it about you. You want to talk about your lessons and what is the reflections, kind of like what I'm doing here. You want the reflections of what you've learned from your experiences and how you can pass them on to other people, instead of just outright talking about yourself and what you've achieved. And then when it comes to the messaging of your content out to market, you talk about yourself, but it's really about, again, how do I create value for you as the customer? What's in this for you? What is my experience, my content, my output going to do to add value to you? So that transition from talking about myself to talking about how I can help people, that was a little feedback that I got from one of my mentors a few months ago, and he was like, and he's a marketing master, by the way. He was my marketing lecturer at Swinburne, and he's got like 6 degrees. This guy's fucking smart as shit. And basically he was like, you're talking about yourself a lot in your content. And I'm like, oh, all right, I need to shift the perspective here and, double down on copywriting and learning how to position more accurately. So that was something that was really early on, probably around the March, April, May perspective when I was launching. And again, when I'm doing this, when I'm building and launching in those months, I'm a nervous wreck trying to get this shit out. I've spent a lot of time in anxiety and survival mode this year. So it's very hard to get a perspective on yourself, like a broader perspective. So that's number one, positioning about who you are and how you talk about yourself in the content. Number two, is the vlog. So I've talked about that vlog plenty on this podcast and in my content. So when I originally shot the vlog, the idea was for it to promote the business, to promote the academy, to be like, here are all the perks of what it means and for what you get for being a top 1% seller at a big tech company. And it's the vehicle to promote my course. And me, in my delusionally egotistical state, which I now admit, most of my launch strategy was getting that vlog shot, launching it, hoping that, or presuming, not hoping, assuming that would go viral inside the Cisco ecosystem, and that would compel people to buy my course. And that strategy did not work. Oh my God. Don't get me wrong, the vlog is good. It's a great memento. It's something I'm proud of. I felt like it was pretty brave of me to film something like that, put it together. I wasn't necessarily that comfortable being in front of the camera, sharing my mum, sharing that private side of my life. I'm proud of it as a piece of work, but the strategy that I thought would launch me into wealth and freedom, oh man, it did not work at all. But you live and you learn, right? And this is what happens. I think we talked about last week at the virality. It just, you can't manufacture the virality. People can, but I think you just have to let that wave pass through. And I thought there was enough attention juice in the virality between December and May for me to get this thing out into the world and go, hey, this is why you should invest in me as a sales coach. And that was not the case. And you live and you learn. Again, folks, I'm no marketing whiz by any standard. I've got a marketing degree, but it doesn't mean I've applied it. I'm a guy just trying to figure it the fuck out. And that one was a lesson, right? It wasn't necessarily a victory. It was in some ways, but it was a lesson. Number 3 is my financial management. I suck at managing money. I have to put that out there. I spent way too much money in the setup of this business before it was making money. I'm a big victim of all the gear and no idea. Buying things I did not need, buying subscriptions, buying toys and tools, investing in people before it was necessary. I spent a lot of money on unnecessary shit, and it's now when I've been forced, because I have no money, I'm forced to actually bootstrap this for real and really be picky about what's essential in this business. Have I learned what's actually necessary to get this thing going? And it's a lot less than I think. So, that's part of the reason why I have to get a day job again, is because I've had to learn a pretty expensive lesson in cash flow management, in financial management, in financial projections, in the realities of what it means to run a business and make sure that it is profitable and successful. At the end of the day, sales cures everything. I need to create more sales. I need to have more revenue in the business so I can keep this thing afloat. So I'm going to be doubling down on some financial management stuff. I might even make this a content piece for next year about how I am being smarter about finances, because I think it'll help you guys as well, right? Because it's not just about business finance, it's about personal finance and investing. I'm 34, but now, my net worth is close to zero. In fact, I'm in negative, probably negative net worth right now. Fuck. And I made like 350K last year. Oh my God. But again, folks, this is it, right? This is the stark reality of where we're at, and we just have to push on. And again, I'm not dead. I still got a roof over my head. I'm still positive. Money comes and goes. It's a resource, not an outcome. I need to be better at managing that resource. It is what it is. Another thing that here's a piece of advice that I've been hypocritical about, or rather have espouted to other people, but have not respected myself in my own business. So one of my favorite authors is a guy called Neil Strauss. And you might know Neil Strauss from writing a book called The Game, which is about pickup artistry and the art of seducing a woman. And I won't deny that, when that was big like 10, 15 years ago, and I was an awkward loser of an 18-year-old, that appealed to me too. But he also has some great resources and was my first entryway into understanding the mindset of money, building financial freedom, because he got into other things such as building financial freedom, building, understanding trauma and his own traumas, and his basically trying to explore different areas of maximizing your life and self-improving on it. And he had this great theory that stuck with me, which I tell to others, which is the 2 trains theory. And what this is you've got 2 trains in life, okay? And when it comes to your career and transitioning into your own business. So you've got your main train, right? That's your day job. That's chuffing along, doing its thing, right? That's going at a consistent speed. It's consistent income. You know where that's going, right? And that's there. And then lower down is your career, not your career, your ambition, your project, your business idea. And that has a lot less speed and traction further down here, okay? And ideally, what you want to do is you want to get that business growing, and you're going to have to juggle for longer than I expected to get the speed and the momentum of your 2 businesses at basically head level, head to head, to a point where your investment in your day job is the restraint from growing your business, right? This train is ready to speed off into the stratosphere, to the moon, whatever you like. And that is the point where you hop off and then keep going. Some people say you should be making at least your income and revenue, or quite similar to, people say 80%, to then hop off and go forward. And that's what you should be doing to make sure that you're growing substantially. Don't put yourself at financial or personal risk from hopping off into off the safety net of a day job into your own career or your own aspirations. And I jumped off basically way too early. And then basically just jumped off a moving train, just got run over by my own business. So that's a big lesson. And I've told many people that who are thinking about building. And lately, when people have asked me about how I've built this thing, I've said, please, listen, this is the mistake that I've made the most, the biggest mistake that I've made the most. Please double down on this, because it would have saved me so much anxiety and so much stress earlier in the piece if I had just actually listened to my own advice. But to be fair, one of the reasons why I left Cisco is that there was a clause in our contracts that said if you develop or publish anything, any intellectual property whilst you're employed at Cisco, Cisco owns that IP. And I did not want Cisco to have any piece of my academy or any of my IP that I developed, because I had evidence that I had developed the vast majority of what I had built before I was employed at Cisco. But I just didn't want to be in a shit fight with a company that I respect and go into I don't want to fight, some legal behemoth, some $54 billion company, whatever it is, over my IP, which they don't really, looking back, they barely give a shit about it now. But, from what I've heard about other people that have, sort of danced around the edge of their personal and professional brands, they can Cisco can get a little hawkish, right? So I just didn't want to have that risk. So I had to jump. And overall, I don't regret the decision, because it's taught me so much about myself. And again, folks, I just get another sales job. Cisco is a great company to work for, but was I like, oh, I can't wait to get up and do sales again? No, I'm following a passion here, right? So as long as, if I had to, and that's what I was planning on doing until I got this potential sales coaching role, was to just go back and be in AE again. And then that's just to spin money. Right? That's just the earning part. I don't put any of my soul in there. All of the soul work is in the academy on nights and weekends, right? So, 2 trains theory, follow that advice, and I will definitely follow that advice into 2025. Last thing that did not go well in 2025 was my pace, okay? I am built for sprints. I have burnt out 4 times in the last 4 years building shit, creating businesses, running comedy shows, shooting content. This is a marathon now, and I have been in anxious survival mode for the vast majority of this year. And a lot of that was, again, putting myself under pressure to build and launch this business. A lot of it was my family situation. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily thinking abundantly, or at least I'm teetering there, and I'm getting a few more green shoots in that direction. But man, I have been anxious as fuck this year. Real anxious. And I've diagnosed anxiety, and I can sense it within myself, and I can sense my stress. And there is part of that has to happen as far as launching your own business. I completely acknowledge that this is the shit-eating time of business building, so I accept it. But it is really looking back and going, man, I'm not afraid to double down and go all in, as we've seen numerous times this year. But this is a marathon now, man, and I haven't been built for it. I need to transition into it and make this manageable in the long term, because there's been many times in this journey this year where I've been like, if this is what life is like to run a business right now, then I don't want it. I would rather just quit and, again, just don't put any of my identity or my soul into my day job of just doing sales, being good to people and whatnot. But then I'd probably just be doing stand-up or probably being a musician and just find another outlet for my creativity. So yeah, man, I don't regret what I've done. I've definitely built my tank for pain. I had a pretty good tank for dealing with shit and bouncing back. And I will say resilience is one of my strong suits, but whoo, I have to plan in decades now, man. I got to think about this business 10 years down the line, not 12 months at a time. So that means that, another year might be tethered to a business and working for somebody. That's fine, right? If I want this once I launch off, I know now with everything that I've learned, the next time that I properly launch off into my own world and just be completely solo, it'll be the last time that I need to do that or need to touch the safety net per se. Because I think if all goes well, in the next 12 months, based on what I'm foreseeing will happen, could be wrong, I think there's a real good opportunity to save about $100,000 in the next 12 months in sales and revenue from coaching, based on the day job and then any revenues that I get from core sales as well. So with a 100K buffer, that's solid for me. I could live in any Southeast Asian country and survive quite comfortably for about 30 grand. So that's 3 solid years of me doing absolutely nothing and still being okay to build the business and whatnot. So yeah, planning for the marathon, taking things slower. I know what works in the business, and how simple it is to generate and develop business right now. So you just got to focus on the minimal parts and the slow parts. Well, not the slow parts, but keep it simple, keep it honest, keep it direct on what's actually necessary to move the needle, per se. So those are the things that haven't worked. Let's end this on a positive note, right? What has worked this year? Number one is being real as fuck. is giving you basically close to unfettered access to my life and what I think and what I'm doing. I've put up posts on the socials of me breaking down in tears after I got made redundant and how painful that was. I talk to you guys, pretty openly, and I swear down the barrel, give you my honest thoughts. I would tell you exactly what's going on with my father's situation if I did not think it would impact his case. And man, yeah, we will get to that at one point because it is fucked, right? I'm being straight up with you guys here, right? So being real, being honest, and this is what I wanted to do, right? I was never built for corporate. I fell into tech sales. Right? I was a creative, I was a comedian, I was a musician. I'm irreverent. I want to talk shit. I just want to get paid to talk shit for a living. That's one of my primary life goals. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it so far. But I really want to double down on that in the next 12 months. And again, this is why I'm talking to you guys, and this part probably won't go on LinkedIn. This will go on YouTube, and just be real with you guys. And that authenticity, it shines through, it resonates with people. I recognize that now. And you talk about it, but when you actually do it and see it, you go, oh shit, here we go. Here it is. And that's really helped. And I did not create a business that's based around me if I was not going to be wholly and solely me. And I wouldn't say that I am yet 100% me on camera, because I think there needs to be a degree of fuck you money, like we talked about, having a few dollars in the bank where I don't have to worry about, what if the corporation think about me saying fuck on LinkedIn? Because I could not care what LinkedIn thinks. It might hurt my algo, and I get it, but keeping the swears in and just being real, it puts me in a good position, because I'm happy to say the shit that other people won't say on LinkedIn. And that's a good position to be in, because we all know that the corporate facade is horseshit and falling apart. And the corporate mask and cringe on LinkedIn is part of the reason why people find it so repugnant to begin with, right? Is that, let's be real, most of the fucks that are on LinkedIn are either building businesses and doing what they love, and that's fine. But if you are the vast majority of us are not living our dreams. None of us just grew up to be like, one day I want to grow up and be an SDR. One day I want to be a financial controller. Oh, one day I want to work in inventory management. We just fell into this shit because it seemed like the best thing to do at the time, and the doors opened, right? Most of us would quit our fucking day jobs the moment we had financial freedom or a sniff of a better opportunity, right? Let's not get too proud about who we're proud to represent. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, right? Anyway, rant over. Being real works, right? I don't mind giving you the full expression of who I am, because this is life, my friends. This is about real world shit. This is not about, let me talk about discovery questions. Life is interconnected. Life is deeply interconnected. Every dimension of who our personalities and our experiences can contribute to who we are as people, and can apply to all of our experiences at once, right? So you have to talk about emotions. You have to talk about the highs and lows of life and our personal experiences, because that's what we really bond over. And again, I was doing that for 100+ episodes, talking about my transformation and all of my own fucking misgivings and all the shit that I've done wrong in my life on my podcast. I'm just transferring that here, and that works. So I just got to keep doing it. And I will. What else is working? Leading into the first point, being personal. So, again, this is a personal brand that I'm building. And when I say being personal is really working, a lot of my sales come from people that already really resonate and are pretty much closed, right? So if I get an inbound lead, so if a customer comes to me and goes, hey, I'm really interested in your course and I want to talk to you about it, they're already like 90% convinced, and they just really often have just a couple of questions about it, and then they're pretty much locked in. Like my close rate is about 80+% on calls, and all of them are inbound, right? I'm doing very little outbound prospecting. People are just going, fuck, I really resonate with this guy. I think he's the guy for me. And again, 80+% of the time, they're signing up, or they're committing to signing up, and they will eventually, because I don't put pressure on them to close anytime soon, because I never did and never will. So really, that personal experience of people going, are you really the person you're talking shit about yourself to be? Like, are you really who you say you are? And I go, yeah, man, this is it. This is 100% it. And they go, sweet, I want to work with you. Fucking A. Cool. That's exactly what I want, right? That's what I mean by the source is working here, right? That personal connection, the personal touch, me being real as fuck with you guys and saying what you see is what you get, that shit works. It works. So yeah, just keep doing what I do, man. Just try to be me as much as I can and be real with my customers and my community, because we are in this together. It's a collective, right? And you know what? I think I might just leave it on this thing that's really working, right? What is really working? The vibe is the tribe, right? What I'm really excited about, what I am excited about for the future, and what really sparks me up in what I'm building here is the community that I'm building, the people that I'm vibing with, the people that are resonating with what I'm doing here is exactly who I thought would come from the messaging that's out there. They're not just single-dimensional people that are trying to maximize their sales and stuff, right? They are the multi-dimensional individuals that are aspiring for more, that are trying to be more conscious, that they're trying to, self-actualize and be a better human being and enrich their lives. They're not just a tech seller, right? They are artists, they are entrepreneurs, they are athletes, right? They are driven, they are, motivated. They have the will to be and the will for more, and they follow that call for more, right? And that is fucking exciting, right? Is that I don't want to drag anyone through what I'm doing here. This is why when people ask me, why don't you do a corporate training program? Because I don't want to teach people that don't want to be taught. If you have will, I can teach you skill. I cannot teach you will. And once you have gotten self-mastery in one or two dimensions of your life, you will start to recognize that mastery is the same formula in every dimension of who you are, right? So to be a good athlete, I've got one client who is an athlete, and I'm going, well, we need to apply the same discipline and structure to your sales process than you do to your athletics. And it's the same shit. It's discipline, it's consistency, it's structure, it's outcome. And really what you just need is someone that has been in the trenches to, again, give you that guidance, to be that coach, to be that guide, to go, this is how I correct your form and technique, and you are driven enough to get out to the fucking world and test and optimize it for yourself and make it yours. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here, right? Is that the people that are the people that are calling for more, the people that feel that urge, that resonate with that, hey, I want more out of life. I can't just be taking what's given to me in this world, because yesterday's systems, yesterday's bullshit do not build the future that I want for myself. They do not build tomorrow's abundant future, okay? And the people that I'm attracting, the vibe that I'm attracting, get it, right? The vibe is the tribe. They are resonating with the message. They feel the call to more, and it is fucking exciting. It is fucking exciting that this is what I am pulling towards me, that this is the community that I'm building, right? Is that I told you folks last week, a few weeks ago, right? It's clicking. This is early days. I've got this fantastic sapling of a business, of an idea, of a mission. It's nowhere near bearing the fruit, but we have the sapling. We have the shoots. We have the roots. So now we nurture and we build, and I keep broadcasting the message. I keep calling out to you on the other side of this camera, on the other side on your screen. If you feel the call for more, if you feel the drive, if you are determined to succeed and make the most of your fucking life, this is the place. This is the place to come, okay? This is the space for you to grow, for you to develop, to self-actualize, and actualize and grow that unique seed of who you are inside. That is the mission. That is the purpose. That is the outcome of this academy. And it is fucking exciting, okay? Early days, but we are onto something, folks. We are onto something, all right? And on that message, on that note, I'm going to leave it there, right? It's been a crazy year of ups and downs, but we are going to fucking make it, folks. We're going to combine together. The community's going to grow. The vibe will broadcast. It'll attract the tribe, and we will get the fuck out there and make something as a collective. I am sure of it. I am sure of it. All right? So if this has fired you up, you know where to find me. school.com/Tex Academy. Send me an email, send me a DM. You want to chat? Let's chat. I'm pretty quiet over the Christmas break. I am doing a couple of coaching things. So if you want to have a conversation, a bit of a yarn, and you want to supercharge your 2025, you do not hesitate to reach out and talk to me, okay? As a final message, I would love to thank you, dear listener, dear community member, everyone that has been a part of this mission and been along for the fucking wild ride that this has been for the year, right? It's been crazy, absolutely crazy, but I'm glad that you are here for it. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I cannot wait to be of service to you in 2025. If you vibe what I'm doing here, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a colleague. Let's get fucking rolling together. All right. Thank you for your time and attention. My name is Jameel Raymond. I'm the founder of Tex Academy, and I will see you in 2025. Ciao for now.